We have special profiles for special users, and we have guest profiles as well on access points. So it doesn't matter. It matters, of course, who tries to use it, because then specific filters and specific rules are applied for the users who can do something. Because marketing department has different needs than financial departments, and vice versa. So we 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 tend to, forgot the word, basically put something in the drawers, like who belongs where, who can do what. So we use that as well in this way. So from multiple ways, multiple perspectives. Yeah, it actually, as many companies think, they're afraid of firewalls, but they want to to keep something secure, and it what does best, it simplifies the approach on the cybersecurity perspective, but from user perspective, right? Because users spend a lot of times in the web, and they try to access web, click on links, scan QR codes, and do whatever, and you cannot stop them unless you have something in between, somebody who can check if it is those links lead you somewhere safe, or maybe run in the sandbox if there's a need, or some specific use cases. So I think this is one of the strongest points. It's very simple, and it's not expensive. Comparing, like, if you buy a firewall, or some licenses, especially from other brands, I have to configure, and you have to have engineer work hours, or get it somewhere to do the work for you. So it's simplicity, and I think it just works. It had some issues 5 years ago, 4 years ago, but now it will just works. I'm pretty happy. Uh, yeah. Sometimes there's some issues when not fully. If we try to block some applications, like some years ago, I remember we had an issue with the Google apps, and if they run within the frame, it's not blocked. So people easily will try to find workarounds how to access their Gmail or Google Drive folder. Now it's seen it's fixed. So I think it could, but still, there are some websites that actually run scripts within scripts or something like that, and you still can access it. Or maybe they are rerouting somewhere. So there are some weaker spots, but I think in general it would work quite well. 8, maybe. It's very well suited. What I've seen where it's installed and tested out, I've seen it's actually very well suited in accommodation businesses, because uh, of course people then you still use some VPNs or something. We're going to the hotels, but just to keep the hotel itself sure. So some malicious actors are not doing something that as well. I'm thinking for smaller companies, as I mentioned, right? They have firewalls, and they don't want to use it because they're expensive, and had to configure this kind of stuff. So it's simplified the process, and there are some small licenses. You can protect only access points, only some specific users. It's this flexibility of itself. It's actually quite good, because you can define it for different needs, like specific licenses, some add-ons, some APIs, and integrations, and whatever. It helps to comply to some requirements, especially now new still is coming in, and I think our company will fall under third party requirement. So it helps with the compliance, and it helps for the company make sure that they're compliant to some specific options, not to access some websites, or I think in general it helps a lot from that side, because nothing is secure. Nothing will be 100% anytime. Is just so what kind of apples are you picking from the tree? The ones actually the lowest lower. So if you help make it more difficult, that it means somebody has to invest more time, more money, and to just to make you vulnerable. So I think that's one of the driving forces as well. Of course, it's not only about the systems because the biggest issue is still human being, like we're all humans who make mistakes, and so whatever we do, we have to as well teach, people like to teach them about critical thinking, about mindfulness, how everything works in the world, how social media works, how manipulation works. So we help like only not from the system side, but as well from the teaching side. So this is as well sometimes my side hustle that I actually teach people about social engineering and how to actually be more or less aware what's going on around how people and how companies manipulate you. So this is maybe additional to what you asked. Yeah, especially as Umbrella, there was no product that integrated well for what we already had. We already, of course, had like some zoo of devices, but now slowly everything changed to Cisco. So the more you have this as the single vendor, the more integrations between themselves, they just work, without additional tweaking and troubleshooting. And, if something occurs, you can have a call to one number or write to one email previously. Now it's discontinued, but, go to website and you ask the question and, because if somebody takes ownership like of all the solutions we use, they know them all. And if something does not working, they can easily solve it. But there's like there's like total zoo of like 20 vendors. So who can be sure that anything works at all? On the business objectives, I don't see negative impacts. Maybe from customer experience, there are, people don't like when they're not allowed to do something. My cat, especially, like close the door for the cat. You're like, keep screaming. So it's the same. Like if you're closing the door for the human being, and he liked this website and now he cannot. So there's like, could be some friction appearing. But in the end, like, when people get adjusted, it becomes a new norm and everything works. So I think it was more the issue when people are not able to do something. And of course, there were some outcomes that we have to fine tune something because as I mentioned, marketing people has different needs. So sometimes for them to access some sites, there was like some false positives as well, and then downloads were blocked. But of course, there's always a way of solving this. So when we added email security and Umbrella, actually implemented in our, it actually decreased like dramatically especially phishing emails and phishing emails that works because people are curious, they click before think. It was yeah, for us, of course, as a Disney, we're getting like very cheap or some even like 100% discounts. But in general, it depends. It depends, of course, on the use case, as I mentioned. Some for some companies, yeah, maybe some just make sure that their access points like guest Wi-Fi is secure, and that's it. For them, is incredible value. For other companies who already has like a lot of security solutions implemented already, uh, sometimes you're not so sure how much it will add additionally. So it all depends on the use case and previous history. I would think there's no single answer for that. Yes, absolutely. Not at first, but now it is. It took some time. Yes, absolutely. But of course, we have some hand holding from engineers, so it was very smooth. Yes, absolutely. I use a lot of software. It depends. For example, I use some software for with Wi-Fi surveys, some software for web applications, installed applications. So I know I'm using like at least 40 maybe different software in my usually. in a month on my work, so it's hard to define. I use a lot of different ones. I'm testing out as well, so I'm a bit not traditional use case scenario. So I have a demo running and I have virtual machines running and I have demo devices physically like they attached to running. So it's a bit different than maybe